Hi guys, Lori here. So I'm here to do my March wrap up. I had an amazing reading month, but I totally did not follow my March TBR video. But I'll get into a little bit about that why. But I actually wound up reading 11 books and I listened to two and then I started one. But I had a lot of like train trips, so I read a lot of stuff on my Kindle, or books from the library. So a lot of it was just like whatever I had on hand. So I read like a lot. It just wasn't what I planned on reading, but that's okay. I like had a great I just had a lot of commute and like train rides and stuff, so I got a lot of stuff read. It just wasn't like what I had necessarily planned to read. But I really enjoyed all the stuff that I read. So the first thing I completed, and that was something I listened to, I completed listening to Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I think like last month I re-listened to Lola and the Boy Next Door, and I had that on my Audible, but I got this from the library, and I forgot how much I really thoroughly enjoyed that book. It was gonna be like a re-buy for me. I'm gonna eventually buy it just so they all match on my shelves, but I just had it was like for free from the library, and I really wanted to re-listen to it. I'm still hopefully eventually gonna re-listen to Isla and the Isla and the Happily Ever After, because then that will be like the ending of the series. And it's on my list, but I really enjoyed it. If you haven't read anything by Stephanie Perkins, I highly recommend you check out that book because it's great and it's amazing and it's like a fantastic contemporary as well. And the first book that I completed reading in March was The Dark Days Club by Alison Goodman. There is a review on my channel as well about this. There's a full non-spoiler review if you guys are interested. I gave this book 4 stars. I really liked it. It basically follows this girl named Lady Helen, and it takes place in like the 1800s. And she becomes aware that this society has a supernatural underbelly that she kind of gets like roped into, and she has the choice between being a proper lady or damaging her reputation but to save the world. And that's kind of where the book goes, and I really liked it. It was a very, very big book. I think it was close to like 500 pages. But and it so there was a lot of like just it was a very, very discussion based book. So there wasn't a whole lot of like fighting for Lady Helen. She kind of observed a lot of fighting, but there wasn't like a lot of her fighting. So it was more like she was like observing stuff rather than actually doing. So I'm hopeful that in the next book she'll actually become a little bit more active. But I love the relationship between Ellen and her maid Darby. I thought that was such a strong female relationship, and I just like the time period that Alison Goodman created. I really liked it, and I liked how affected it her, like the impact it had, like the time she lived in. And I just loved the supernatural stuff that was created and all the characters that we met. And it was, there was a lot of stuff about her past that came up and her parents. So I really thoroughly enjoyed the book, and I cannot wait for the sequel. I just hope it's a little bit more action packed and less discussion. But as I always say, the first book in a series, there has to be a lot of world building, and that's definitely what this book had to do, because the world is super, super complicated. But I really, really did like it, and I'm excited to read the next one. And then the next book I read and finished was Calamity by Brandon Sanderson. This is the final book in the Reckoner series, and I enjoyed it. I don't think it was my favorite book of the series. I still think that honor falls to Firefight, because I really, really enjoyed Firefight. But I did enjoy it. I liked how it was concluded and tied up. And you can go and check out my spoiler discussion about it, where I review the first book and then discuss about it. But I wanted the ending of the book to happen sooner. Like I wanted the structure of it to be a little bit better, because I think one of the best things about this book was the relationship between Professor and David, and there wasn't a whole lot of interaction in this book, and I think that hindered my enjoyment of it. But I really did enjoy it, and I love Brandon Sanderson, so there's so many books of his that I have on my shelf that I just really, really want to get my hands on. So overall, I really, really liked it. If you want more about my spoiler discussion or more information about the series in general, I have a spoiler review on it. It's the Calamity series review, and it's a few videos down. You can just check that out. But I really, really liked it, and I was happy to finally conclude the series. It was a great tie-up, and I cannot wait to read some more stuff by Brandon Sanderson. If you have been living under a rock, which you must have if you do not know about this, Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare came out this month, and I was waiting patiently for the Tales of the Shadow Academy to come out as a book, but unbeknownst to me, it wasn't going to come out to November, and I just could not wait that long. So I started slowly buying them and getting them from my library, so the next two stuff that I read was Welcome to Shadow Academy and The Lost Herondale. Those were the two books, and then I unexpectedly got an e-arc of that book from Edelweiss, so now I can read them slowly and surely, and I can give you guys a full series review, which you will get when I completed reading all of them. So you will get that hopefully soon, because I really, really do want to read Lady Midnight. But I need to read Simon's story, because Simon is my favorite character in the entire Mortal Instruments series. So the next two things I read back to back was Welcome to Shadow Academy and The Lost Herondale. Simon is my favorite character, so I was very excited to read this, and I really, really love him as a character. So it's nice to see him going through the academy, and I'm so excited to read these, and I like all the unexpected cameos from the Mortal Instrument characters, and then the cameos or the experiences from the Infernal Device characters, and I'm very excited to see how this all leads up to Lady Midnight. And I've been watching the Shadowhunters TV show, and I really, really love the actor that plays Simon. So this is like perfect. I really, really love the Shadowhunters TV show. I know that there have been a lot of like mixed reviews out there, but I really, really am enjoying it. So these just getting to see Simon after Heavenly Fire has been great. So hopefully I'll get to read a few more. Right now, I really like The Lost Tarandale, but I also did like the one that I read a little bit later in the month as well. But I definitely like right now the Shadow Academy was definitely my favorite. But I really loved all the connections. I loved Isabel coming back and that interaction with Simon, and how really, really broken Simon is from the effects of City and of Heavenly Fire. So I really, really enjoy them, and I can't wait to read some more, as you'll see later in the month. And the next thing I read was The Map to Everywhere by Carrie Ryan and Jonathan Parker Davies. I got this as an arc from Comic-Con, and I have a ton of middle grade novels, so I'm gonna do a big review when I complete them all. But there's just a lot on my shelf, so hopefully at the end of the month I can, or eventually I can do a whole review of these. So just keep your eyes up. But it's a really super cute middle grade novel about this character named Finn and this character named Meryl. And Meryl is a modern day character, and Finn's like a fantasy guy. And they kind of wind up on this same ship, and Meryl unexpectedly, and they have to try to get home, and they have to help each other, use each other to do it. But it's a great middle grade. If you have kids that like anything like Percy Jackson, I highly recommend this. Super quick read, really fun, and I gave it 3 stars. And you'll hear more about my thoughts about it when I do my full middle grade book series review, or my book mashup. Yeah, this is kind of when my pre-planning for my March what I wanted to read kind of fell out the window. I picked up Autofocus by Lauren Gibraltar. This book doesn't come out till June. I got an e-arc from Edelweiss, so I was able to read this now. You'll get my video much later, but that's what I read. Overall, I really liked it. If you like The Night We Said Yes by Lauren Gibraltar, I highly recommend this. Follows this girl named Maud, and she's trying to do a senior project on on her parents and her history, but she is adopted, and her mother died when she was born. So she goes on this epic adventure to try to find out what her mother was like and what impact it may have had if she was raised with her. It's a really super cute contemporary novel, and it has a really nice hint of romance. Check out my non-spoiler review. I will be up the first week of June, but those are my basic thoughts. Then after that, it was a very quick read, and I was stuck on a train, so I started reading Tell the Wind and Fire by Sarah Reese Brennan. This is another e-arc. It comes out April 5th. I got this from NetGalley. Thank you, NetGalley. But that is the next thing that I just posted my non-spoiler review of this, so go check it out. I really like this book. I gave it 4 stars. It's basically a retelling of A Tale of Two Cities, but with a lot of magic. And it follows this girl named Lucy, who was born in the Dark Cities, but making a living in the Light City, and she's basically like a martyr in some instances. And her boyfriend's dark past comes to light, and it sets a course of actions in place that leads to a very dangerous situation. But I really liked it. I love the characters. I love the world building. This is the second series I've read by Sarah Reese Brennan. Check out my video review for more comparison between this and the Unspoken series. But I really liked it, and it was a very strong standalone. So if you're looking for a good gritty standalone, I recommend you check this out or check out my spoiler review. The next thing I completed listening to was The Death Cure by James Dashner. This is the final book in his Maze Runner series, and I love it. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars. It was a great ending. It was also ironic because I just finished this, and then I started The Cage by Megan Shepherd, which is another dystopian novel, because I got an e-arc from Edelweiss, so I'm listening to that right now. Hopefully I'll get to complete it soon, because I have an arc, The Hunt, and that comes out in early June that I would like to read. The next thing I read was The Shadow Queen by C.J. Redwine. I also just posted my non-spoiler video review, so go check that out for more details, but I gave this book like 3.5, 4 stars. It was a very, very strong read. If you at all like Once Upon a Time, I think you'd really, really like this. This book is a Snow White retelling with a lot of magic and dragons and a very, very evil queen at the heart of it. It is a very, very unexpected journey with some heartbreaking experiences that you just have to read to experience, but I really, really liked it. I love the lead character. I love the villain that was created. I love that it was a standalone, and I also love that we will be getting more in this world, but exploring different fairy tale characters, and they will all be different reimaginings, so I'm so excited to see what stories she tells us next. And then the next thing that I read was See How They Run by Ally Carter. I also just posted my spoiler discussion about this book, so go check that out. It's the video that will be right before this. I really like this book. I gave it 3 stars. I still had a little couple of problems with Grace, the main character, but I liked where the story went, and I liked how political it got and how realistic it was in some instances. I liked it. Go check out my spoiler discussion if you want to know more. But overall, if you like series like The Fixer by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, or if you even like Scandal on TV, I think you'd like this. It's a little bit more political, and the kids are just fun, and everyone needs to meet these characters because they are just so much fun to read about. The last thing that I completed in the month of March was The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey. You won't see a spoiler discussion about this because I'm waiting until The Last Star comes out in May so I can do it. But I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. It was fast paced. I love this book for many, many reasons. But I really like that you got to see inside different characters' head that you didn't get to see inside the Fifth Wave. I love how complicated this story got, and the end was a real game changer. So I need like another book to examine that, and I need like all my characters back together. But it was again very, very heartbreaking, some unexpected deaths that kind of destroyed me. But that was everything I read in March. So I'm going to do my April TBR now. I don't know if it's going to be this massive. I'm not going to put anywhere near these many books on it. But I do have a lot of train trips coming up, so hopefully I can read a lot. But I hope you guys are having a great day, and check out my April TBR to see what my goal is for April. I hope you guys are having a great day.